What are some of the other things that you found, or maybe some of the things that surprised you in this discovery process and interviews that you did that just really stood out that you want to talk about?
Yeah, probably the one that popped in my head. We interviewed a woman from Indonesia, Chinese family, and right now is not a great time to build wealth in China. Her parents was not a good time to build wealth in China. And so they came to Indonesia, they made money, they sent the daughter off to the States. So all the children, daughters, so there was no son to set that role. And she goes off, she's got two instructions. One, you got to get an advanced degree. And two, you have to come home.
Okay.
Right. So she comes home and her dad's business is mushroomed. And so she helps dad build a factory, but they don't get along all the time. And in her culture, you're supposed to honor your father. And so one day she decides, I'm going to go get a job. And then before her interview, she sits down with her dad and she says, Dad, you're going to be so proud of me. I'm going to be able to earn my own money and do all that kind of stuff. And her dad looks at her and said, which this threw us. He said, I don't get it. Where's my face in it? We're going, where's my face in it? What did he mean? Well, he meant, how in this are you honoring me? Because you're supposed to be part of what we're creating as a family. And more what we found is that people grow up in a world where they have more multicultural experiences. So the idea of getting a job and making money as being part of how you define your independence was foreign to him. And that is a much more common phenomena than a lot of it, because we live in a global world.
Right.
And I think it's important for the people who are raising the next generation to appreciate that we grow up in a global world.
I love that. I love that. I think, I can't remember who wrote about it, but there was somebody else had written about that. And when, it was really interesting because I've led a pretty sheltered life, most of my time in upstate New York. And so, other cultures and how they do things like, Eastern philosophies are just different than Western philosophies.
Yep.
And so, in dealing with families and how you do things, I think, I don't have any families from other cultures in my, in the work that I do right now, but we do live in a work, upstate New York has many cultures in it.
Yep.
And if I was ever to serve another family from another culture, that's be one of the things that, as the advisor side of it, you'd really need to look into what are the standards of the culture, how are things typically done, so that at least you go in aware that the way you've done things with other families may not be the way that you need to do them for this family.
What a great awareness, because even I grew up in Skokie, Illinois, which, a little suburb outside of Chicago. At one point, still has a Jewish community, but now there's Indian cultures in there. I mean, it's more and more we live in a world that's multicultural.
Yeah.
And marriages produce, bringing people in from other cultures. And how we deal with all of that, both as advisors and as parents,
yeah,
is part of this whole quest thing.